Hello, friends. I am here again with a new chapter, Mrs. Packletide's Tiger. Let me introduce you to the main characters of the story. 1. Mrs. Packletide. She is the main protagonist of the story. 2. Luna Bimberton. She is a background character whom Mrs. Packletide considers her rival. 3. Louisa Mebbin, Mrs. Packletide's paid assistant during the hunt. The story begins with a satirical tone about Mrs. Packletide's vain character. The story is set mainly in colonial India, when the Britishers were ruling India. The story highlights the vain and pretentious nature of the people in Edwardian society, which means British society. Mrs. Packletide was an English woman who desperately wanted to shoot a tiger. Basically, she was not adventurous or brave, but she was jealous when her friend, Luna Bimberton, had recently been carried in an aeroplane by an Algerian pilot. Mrs. Packletide wanted to outshine her and longed to prove that she was no less. Her ultimate desire was to obtain a tiger skin and display it in her house. If she succeeded in killing a tiger, her photograph would appear in the press, and she would host a party in Curzon Street in Luna Bimberton's honor. But the talk would be of her hunting expedition. She also planned to present a tiger claw brooch on Luna's next birthday in order to make her feel jealous. All her motives were largely dominated by her dislike of Luna, as she has always considered Luna her rival. Circumstances proved to be favorable. An old and weak tiger who visited the village for food was chosen as the target. Mrs. Packletide offered to pay 1,000 rupees to the villagers for helping her in shooting a tiger. The villagers got very tempted, as 1,000 rupees was a lot of money in those days. They made all the efforts to confine the tiger within the village. Children were posted day and night on the outskirts of the local jungle to shoo off the tiger back to the village. The cheaper kinds of goats were scattered here and there, as easy food for the old and weak tiger. Mothers returning back from fields were stopped from singing lullabies to their babies so that it might not disturb the sleep of the tiger. The only fear of the villagers was that the old and frail tiger should not die of hunger or lack of sleep before the day of hunting. On the eventful day, Mrs. Packletide arrived with her paid companion, Louisa Mebbin. Proper arrangements were made. They were made to sit on a raised platform. A goat with a loud bleat was tied near the spot. Meanwhile, the tiger appeared on the scene and slowly walked towards the goat. Mrs. Packletide shot the tiger. The tiger fell down to one side. The villagers shouted in joy as they were sure that they would get their 1,000 rupees. Mrs. Packletide was also very happy and joyful. The villagers spread the news to the whole village with the beating of drums. Mrs. Packletide was dreaming of the luncheon she was going to organize to make Luna Bimberton feel let down. It was the shrewd Miss Mebbin who drew the attention of the people to the fact that it was actually the goat which had died of the bullet wound, and the tiger, being old, had died of a heart attack due to the loud sound of the gunshot. Mrs. Packletide was annoyed to know the truth, but she consoled herself thinking that she was now the owner of that tiger skin. The villagers agreed to keep her secret a secret as they were paid the money. Mrs. Packletide expected that Miss Mebbin would not disclose anything, as she was the paid companion. Mrs. Packletide's pictures appeared in 2 newspapers. Luna Bimberton declined the invitation to the lunch party, but accepted the tiger claw brooch and wrote a thank you letter with repressed emotions. Miss Mebbin was very money-minded and cunning. She thought of exploiting Mrs. Packletide, threatening her to expose her secret to Luna Bimberton if she didn't fulfill her one demand. Miss Mebbin, being shrewd and clever, hinted that she wanted money to buy a weekend cottage near Dorking. To keep her mouth shut, Mrs. Packletide was forced to pay £680 for that cottage. Miss Mebbin planted tiger lilies in her garden and also named the cottage the Wild Beasts, as a tribute to the tiger hunting, due to which she could buy that expensive holiday cottage. Since then, Mrs. Packletide never indulged in big game shooting. She told her friends that incidental expenses were too heavy for this kind of hunting. If you enjoyed this summary, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.